Henry Thomas Farr, otherwise known as Harry, was born to William and Alice Farr in North Kensington in 1890. He was the third of 10 children. William and Alice had married in 1883 when William was stationed at the Cowley Barracks in Oxfordshire. After 12 years' service in the army, William joined the Great Western Railway as a platelayer. In 1908, when Harry was 18, he decided to join the army. He enlisted in the 1st Battalion of the West Yorkshire Regiment. Now, it is unclear as to why, as a Londoner, he joined a Yorkshire regiment, but the records that survive show he was considered a reliable and trustworthy soldier with a record of good behaviour. In 1908, the regiment was fighting in India against the Mohammed tribes on the northwest frontier. After 2 years of army service, he left the army in 1910 and became a scaffolder. Also in 1910, he met Gertrude Lydia Young, who worked as a domestic servant, and for the next 4 years the pair were inseparable. Gertrude's parents did not approve of the couple and were not happy when they became engaged. In April 1913, Gertrude realised she was pregnant, which came as a shock to the couple. In those days, a child born out of wedlock brought shame and disgrace to a family. This meant the wedding had to be brought forward, and Harry and Gertrude were married in Kensington Registry Office in the summer of 1913. On the 29th of October 1913, Harry and Gertrude's only child, Gertrude Nellie, was born. On August 4, 1914, Britain declared war on Germany in response to its invasion of Belgium. Now, most soldiers who had left the army had been kept on as reservists for 5 years after leaving, and Harry was one of those. He was enlisted in the West Yorkshire Regiment 2nd Battalion, for the simple reason the 1st Battalion was already in France at this time. On the 4th of November 1914, the 2nd Battalion left Hursley Park Camp near Winchester and marched to Southampton, where they embarked the SS Mount Temple and sailed for France. Harry served in France until May 9, 1915, when he was taken off duty suffering from shell shock, now known as PTSD. In the First World War, shell shock was seen by many as the fault of the soldier, and the soldiers were treated either at a base hospital run by the Royal Army Medical Corps or sometimes sent back to Britain to recover. And some stately homes were taken over, or rather requisitioned, by the military for use as hospitals at this time. In October 1915, Harry was sent back to the front line near Ypres. During April 1916, Harry reported sick and was treated at a dressing station for 2 weeks, but was not sent away from the front line. He reported sick again on July the 22nd, 1916, but was deemed to be fit for duty again the following day. His final nervous collapse took place on the 17th of September 1916. He had reported sick again, but he was not seen as he wasn't wounded. He was ordered to the front as part of a rations party, but disobeyed the order. He was arrested on the 18th of September 1916 and charged with cowardice. Private Farr stood trial by a Field General Court-Martial on the 2nd of October 1916. A Field General Court-Martial was a wartime disciplinary tribunal. At least 3 officers had to sit in judgment, and if the death penalty was passed, it had to be unanimous. Those sitting in judgment at Private Farr's trial were Lieutenant Colonel Frederick Swing, Captain James Jones, and Lieutenant C.A.V. Newsom. Harry was undefended at his court-martial, and there is no evidence that he was offered a defending officer. There were other failings as well. The court was not advised by a judge advocate, despite there being evidence that one was available. The senior officers also appear to have accepted hearsay as evidence, and of course Harry had been suffering from shell shock previously and had received treatment for it. Harry was found guilty and sentenced to death by firing squad, and he was executed at 6 a.m. on the 18th of October 1916. At his execution, he refused to wear a blindfold. Now, what became of his widow? Well, she remarried in 1920 and lived until 1993 when she died in Nottinghamshire. His daughter, Gertrude, lived until the age of 101 and died in a nursing home in early 2015. In 2006, after much campaigning, Harry and 305 other soldiers were given posthumous pardons. Harry is mentioned on both the Thiepval Memorial on the Somme, where soldiers that have no known grave are remembered, and also at the National Memorial Arboretum in Staffordshire. Thank you for watching, and I shall see you in the next video.